I keep
Hello.
almost closing Skype.
Live peeps.
Because I'm an idiot. Yeah, check out that. Retweet within 10 seconds.
Nice. First
Boosh,
retweet.
boosh, boosh.
All right, let's close that. So we were just talking about it on the Patreon pre-show. But Moon and I have been looking for a way to get alerts for digital video game sales. I've been using camelcamelcamel.com for the physical thing. But as we are buying less and less physical games, oh,
That was close.
It's more important for me to get alerted for digital games. So we found psprices.com, which does all consoles, and it does the very thing we were looking for, which is you find a game and you say, email me when the price drops, and that's it.
It looks like they do physical as well.
Yeah, they do physical as well, that's right. Like, Yakuza 0 right now is $15 on Amazon US.
Last of Us is 16.
Yeah. I saw something else that was on there really cheap. God, what else was there?
Origins is 23 bucks.
What game is it?
Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, that's cheap.
Near 25.
Only thing I sort of wish... Let me see if... Yeah, the only thing I wish I could do is look at prices for multiple platforms at once. Like, I'm looking at No Man's Sky, so I'm looking at the PSN version. I sort of wish I could see like what the prices are on multiple platforms. Like, oh, is it cheaper on Xbox One or is it cheaper on PS4? Or switch between those two platforms pretty quickly. But it doesn't look like you can do that. Which isn't the end of the world, but sort of a weird thing.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay, let me switch notes here to this week's notes. And then I have this giant box of video games here that are all sort of in the backlog and sort of not. And I don't remember what I was looking for. This giant box here, everyone. I'm hoping my address didn't just get shown on the screen. Well, it was on that side, and I hope it didn't show.
I wasn't looking, sorry.
Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. As I have it physically, let's open this up a little bit so I don't look like a purple ghost. I do have, still in the under is the second runner, Mars.
Hello, T.
Shiny. Ooh.
Ooh.
Hey, T-Bum Rocks. Dead Rising, Assassin's Creed Origins, Horizon Zero Dawn, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. What else do we have? A sealed copy of Final Fantasy XII, the limited steelbook edition.
No comment.
You got either one of the Destinies. Yeah, both of them. Let's see if I can... oh, here we go. Battleships Night War.
I have a sealed copy of that downstairs.
Monster Hunter World. Thank you, Jimbo Jangles.
Play it.
No Man's Sky. I'm warming up to getting time for Monster Hunter World. Titan Quest. It was like $10. I love that game. I have to have it in here somewhere, I think. Another copy of Marvel Super Heroes 2. Talos Principle. It's in our game club list. Okami HD. 5th copy. Still not gonna play it.
I love that game and I hate it at the same time.
Never played it. It's so long. Tom Clancy's The Division. Hey.
That's a good game.
Forgot I had that. What is this? Gears of War 4? Like that? What's this? Quantum Break. Need to finish that someday. I think it's in my Xbox One. Yes, it is. It's empty. There's a good advertisement for Alan Wake. Plays on Xbox One.
Yep.
There you go. Go play Alan Wake. Alan Wake's really great. Mass
Go
Effect
play
Andromeda.
Quantum Break.
Finish that someday. Here we go. Utawaro Ramono, Mask of Deception. Play that someday.
I don't even know what half these things are.
Yeah. The Silver Case, still need to play that. Octopath Traveler.
Wait, was that disdain for a JRPG I just heard?
It's not great. I want to finish it someday, but Chaos Child, that's also... What's this? Wolfenstein, the first one, the good one. Yakuza Kiwami, Steelbook, because I didn't know the Steelbook would look that great. The back of the Steelbook is this tattoo.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, really good. And Yakuza Kiwami is fine. Still need to finish 6 so I can play Kiwami 2. Danganronpa V3, I like it. South Park Fracture But Whole, that's fine. What else do we have? Wolfenstein 2, the bad one. Put all these back in here. What's this? Puyo Puyo Tetris, the English release. I've got the Japanese one back there somewhere. What's this? Sealed? Recore for the Xbox One. Sealed! It's worth a whole $6 sealed.
I'll tell you what that's worth. That's worth $9.99. Game Pass.
There you go. Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus for PS4.
Go fuck yourself. Thank you very much.
No, go fuck yourself, Nicholas. Shadow Warrior, PS4. First one? First one. Got a bunch of Switch games. What do you have here? Captain Toad Treasure Tracker? Hell, yeah. Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Super Mario Odyssey. Thank you, Jimbo Jangles. The End is Nigh. Game's too hard. I'm a baby. And Cave Story
Wait,
Plus.
what? The End is 9 is too fucking...
End is Nigh is hard. I don't remember what those games are. A sealed copy of Pinball Arcade Season 2.
What the fuck was that even doing in a physical release?
It's a European release. Rated PEGI 12.
Oh, jeez.
20 stunning tables. Although it doesn't list what table. What tables are here. Featuring 20 licensed tables built from Bally, Williams, Stern, and Gottlieb.
Hey, Deke, I'm assuming that's Mechanical Beak from the other
Hey,
stuff?
Mechanical Beak. Where's your sealed copy of Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg? I don't have a copy of that, actually. It's a bummer. Nier Automata, Day 1 edition. But doesn't really matter.
Keep running in circles.
Steins Gate Zero, that's fine. And last but not least, This is the Police physical edition. What is...
Good call.
No manual. Oh, that's a bummer. That could be a cool manual. And the disc is
my video.
Super exciting.
My video is killing me.
That's alright. Your audio sounds good. No copy of Brothers in there. Thought that's where it was.
Good luck finding it.
Well, I don't know if you can see it on your video. You can see it on stream. There's 2 more piles here that are 2 cases deep. So there's 4 piles.
I see the second row, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's probably in there somewhere.
Yeah, good
New
luck.
TVGP podcast. What's in the box? God, if only. I'd love to. When I go and start unboxing some of my games again, putting them on shelves, I would like to do something like that. Just to go through some of the games I haven't seen in 5 or 6 years.
Nope.
I have
That's your
Titanfall
chat.
2. Okay, hold on. I need to grab this. Oh, I just found Brothers.
There you go.
I need to show this on stream. Oh no, there's a couple things I need to show here on stream. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I love how, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, but Skype updated yesterday while we were recording, or before we started recording the Game Club episode.
Yeah.
And then it updated again today, and it ran fine yesterday. And today, it took me about 15 attempts to actually get my camera and stuff to work so we could speak.
Right.
And now my video is nothing but framey as hell for you and the watchers, as I can see on the stream. It's like,
Oof.
Fuck you, Skype.
Go to hell, Skype. Alright, what's the most interesting way of displaying it? Okay, so here's a sealed copy of Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, for PS4. I don't know why I never opened that up. Maybe I won't. The limited edition of Res HD or Res Infinite for PS4. Came with the reversible cover. It has the shininess.
Oh.
The disc is pretty cool. Hey, is this sealed? This is sealed. A sealed copy of Shovel Knight for PS4. I don't know. Digital soundtrack included. There you go. Copy of Mag for the PS3. I'm not entirely sure why. Oh, this came with a manual.
Yes, it did.
Crazy. I'm not entirely sure why I have a physical copy of this.
Because it was back when you had to buy physical copies of things.
A giant explosion here on the inside.
Mag is a quality game.
Mag is a really great game. I have a copy of Evolve from the Xbox One. Oh, it's sealed. There you go. I think that's what you need to say about that game. NY Badger
was
says
better than people give it credit for.
Yeah. NY Badger says I've been tempted to pick up Shovel Knight for the Switch. You should. That's a great game. Last but not least, Battleborn for the Xbox One. There's another game left after this. Followed by Battleborn for the PS4.
Pretty sure I have a copy on the Xbox One as well.
Yeah. I think I bought this when they announced it says for every kind of badass on the back. I think I had bought it when they announced they were not supporting it anymore, and it was like $10. 25 badass heroes.
When it was in the store known as Five Below for $5, because that's how I got my copy.
Not fun for a $5.
Shelf candy for a $5.
What's really a bummer is I bet this game would do really well if it came out last year.
Yeah.
I bet now that Overwatch is out and stuff like Realm Royale is out and all those games, I bet if they would have come out with that in 2018, it would have had a real fighting chance.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that it was two of the biggest dick measuring developers out there in Gearbox and Blizzard.
Yep.
Because say what you want, but Blizzard did some dick moves in that whole ordeal as well.
Yeah.
But it was dick measuring around the fucking ring, and I'm sorry, Gearbox, but you're gonna lose to Blizzard every time.
Yeah. NY Badger says played them all on 3DS, but not sure I want to find it when King of Cards comes out. Yeah, I need to. King of Cards is slated to come out April of this year, so I will need to get back into that when it comes out.
Oh, jeez.
Because it is a card game now, and that's my weakness.
Yeah. Mechanical Beak broke his arm a week ago. Any suggestions for PS4 games that can be played one-handed?
Wow.
The browser, so you can watch Giant Bomb videos.
There you go. I'm trying to think of anything that's really slow, like a strategy RPG or something.
Is there any puzzle quests out there?
No, I was actually looking a couple weeks ago if any Puzzle Quest is really out there, and they're all kind of delisted from everywhere.
Yeah, except for the stupid castle one, which I've got on my Xbox, which I don't know the name of. Well, it's made by the same company. Oh, I don't know the name of it.
They also had Puzzle Quest Galactrix, which was bad.
Yeah. Let me just open my OneNote here.
What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything like primarily menu-driven. I haven't played Darkest Dungeon on consoles. That might work.
Shit, I have a list of games I want to buy. Darkest Dungeon is not a bad call. That might work.
I'm trying to think of something like XCOM. You know, like that. It's gonna wait for you to do something, and you have plenty of time to do stuff between moves.
True. Also, by the way, I hate that cover.
That's not a great cover for how great that movie is.
Yep. Speaking of, that was ODNF for this month, folks. So,
have you guys watched it yet?
Yup.
Okay. Very curious to listen to that one. I can sort of already tell who's going to love it and who isn't going to.
Is this the notepad I wrote all my notes in? No, it's
Infants'
not that
inability to
notepad.
maintain a pacifier in their mouths infuriates me. I know, NY Badger. Like get it together with your muscles, man.
Nope,
Can't
I don't know where my random notes pad has gone. Which is notes from the past like 6 years, which has got a whole bunch of games I'm interested in. Why have I got the Lord of the Rings music stuck in my head?
I actually just did a Google search for PS4 one-handed games, thinking like there's nothing out there at all.
Did Dead or Alive show up?
There's a thread on the PS4 subreddit about people recommending games for people to play with one-handed because this person fractured their wrist.
How interesting.
Disgaea,
Did you
XCOM,
post?
Persona
Disgaea's
5 might be a little bit harder.
Disgaea is a really good call,
Yeah.
especially if you're like spending 6,000 hours playing a game.
Someone's saying Until Dawn could be played with one hand. Interesting.
Yeah, I could see it. Stick it on easy mode.
Near Automata, if you put it on easy mode, it automatically shoots. The Zero Escape games. Yeah. Start with 999. Divinity Original Sin.
How about Devil May Cry? I've heard that's a good one-handed game. I'm kidding.
Well, Bayonetta, the original Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 have the assisted mode. Journey.
Yeah, Journey's good. The sea diving game we played, similar, made by the same people who did Journey, scuba diving. You know the one I'm talking about, but you can't think of the name.
I cannot. Lara Croft Go. Hitman Go would be another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good list of... I'm surprised that that worked out.
I miss Disgaea.
Yeah, I feel like when Disgaea 6 event... Abzu. Thank you, Joe Jennings.
Thank you.
I feel like when Disgaea 6 comes out, I might be really interested in that, especially if they come out with that on Switch early enough. So I haven't played since 2?
I don't know if you can play it one-handed, but What Remains of Edith Finch, you might be able to get away with that in one-handed mode.
Yeah, you might be able to. That's a good game.
It's one of the best games of all time, in my
And we
opinion.
did a game club.
Yep.
Or spoiler cast.
It was a spoiler cast, yeah.
Oh, spoiler cast.
Oh, that game's so good. That's never getting uninstalled from my Xbox.
I sort of wish that's one of those few games I wish I could just wipe my memory about and just play, at the very least, play the fishing cannery level again.
Yeah.
Ah, that game was so good.
So good.
I wonder if that's on Switch.
We bought it for a friend. My wife and I bought it for a friend for like I think it was for Christmas like 2 years ago, or for a birthday 2 years ago when it first came out. I was like, go and play it. It's 100% AU kind of game. Still not touched it.
Son of a...
Like, I get it. It's a game you haven't heard of, but come on.
It's literally 4 hours long. It's one sitting long.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, you ready to start this thing?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You be talked into it.
I can be persuaded.
All right.
I just need about another 6 more patrons, and that'll be about the right price point for me to start talking.
There you go. Wink. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
I don't think we have anything to announce at the beginning. This week, there will be a brand new episode of Old Dog New Flicks for patrons. Should be coming out this Friday. And that's... there'll be a new episode of Dynamic Soundtrack coming out pretty soon. Yeah. Don't forget, patreon.com/E1M1. We don't always plug it at the beginning, but we recommend the $5 tier. That's only $5 a month. You get all of this stuff, and you help us pay for the show. It's as I always say, it's free for you. It's very much not free for us. And I don't have a paying job right now, so that helps out a lot to take that weight off our shoulders. So patreon.com/U1M1, the ones are numbers. Go sign up. $5 tier is pretty great. With all of that out of the way, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Oh boy. Where do I start? Okay, let's start with the story goes on. This was the beginner roguelike that I mentioned.
Yes.
Probably a couple of weeks ago. To be honest, I'm just playing it to tidy, mop up some achievements and stuff in it now. It's a short game. Like, I'm not far away from completing it at all. But I just wanted to give a little shout out to a really, really good intro roguelike, which from community mentions, like T-Bomb Rocks has mentioned that he's actually enjoyed it with his little girls. So if you're interested in roguelikes and not too sure where to start, it's a very good introduction into the actual world. Right. Nice and easy as well.
I started with Toe Jam and Earl back in the 90s, and now you can start with a much easier game, and the story goes on.
Yep. I started with Dead Rising, so...
well, all the way in the deep end.
But yeah, the story goes on. The art style is good. Give it a shot. Oh boy, Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
The saga continues.
Saga towards 1,000 points.
The saga towards 1,000 points indeed. / there is DLC out for it real soon. / now, I believe.
Oh wow, really?
Yup. It's the additional survivor stories. So it's the person you run into at the gun store as Leon. It's their story, and I think it's somebody else's story as well.
Sorry, the PlayStation 1 models DLC also came out this week, which is really good.
Yeah, I think they were already out. I think they were like a deluxe edition. Like if you bought the huge thing, you got them, but they're free for everybody now. Which, if you want to see how dumb that game can look, yeah, put those things on and give them a watch because, oh boy.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yes, we have. But I finished Leon's B playthrough, got my true ending, unlocked the full survivor mode, which, for those of you who don't know, you play, spoiler alert, Hunk, I think his name is?
Yes.
Who is a special ops for Umbrella, and you have to essentially escape from basically you have to do a run of the entire map from the end of the game back to the beginning of the game with limited options in equipment. Like, you have an inventory, but it's like a couple of clips, a couple of healing items. That's about it, really. So your job is to make it from the end of the game all the way through to the beginning of the game.
That's cool.
I did it. 45, no, not 45, like 36 minutes, something like that.
Wow.
That's how long it takes to run through literally just one end of the game to the other. No puzzles, no nothing like that. Just do a quick lap and avoid everything. And in doing so, I unlocked the never gonna make this mode.
Okay.
I got Tofu.
Yes, Tofu.
Who is really gross looking.
Tofu in HD is not something I wanted to see.
Nope. He is creepy and scary, and I want nothing to do with him at all.
Yeah.
That's terrifying on so many levels.
Ugh.
So pretty much, to be honest, that leaves me, with regards to Resident Evil 2, that leaves me with S ranked for both Leon and Claire. There is an achievement for getting an S rank.
Okay.
Which is 2.5 hours, start to end, for the game, for those of you who don't know. I've seen speedrunners do it in 1:15.
Wow.
So, and that was 1:15 on hardcore mode without saving it once. So, it's doable. It's, am I good enough to do it?
Right, the truest test.
Yeah, so I could probably do it, but from what I understand, it's 2.5 hours. I can get them on standard difficulty, but if I do them on hardcore difficulty, you unlock the minigun and the rocket launcher, infinite ammo versions. So if you ever want to see something fun, go and look at the video out there of Claire pointing the rocket launcher at the tyrant. Hilarity every single time.
Yeah.
He said, whoop, nope, and he nopes on out. So, Resident Evil 2, man, it's like, honestly, considering how few games I am excited about this year, I mean, it's probably going to be a good year because, you know, we always seem to be surprised by how many games come out each year.
We haven't had E3 yet, which could have a lot of, like, coming this fall.
Yeah, you don't know what Bethesda's going to drop to try and make up for their
I don't know what Bethesda's going to do in general.
True. But Resident Evil 2 might be one of my favorite games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And the remake is better in every single way.
God, that's so good.
So yeah, you know, this thing it's made a lasting impression on me already, and the fact that like I was sitting down, I was thinking to myself, well, what do I want to play? It's like I've got collectible achievements to go for, I've got the S ranks to go for, and that's pretty much it, and I'll be done with the game. But the fact that I'm debating doing it on hardcore so I can unlock the rocket launcher and the minigun just to go in and shoot some fools,
right,
should tell you how much like this game is speaking to me right now.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of the Resident Evil series, and I've said it a lot, and I'm sure you've heard about it from any number of Game Press places, Resident Evil 2 should be on your list of games to play this year.
Yeah.
Because, oh boy, is it something special. Unless you're a wuss like Boston, in which case, I don't know, go watch Giant Bomb play it.
Total chicken. That's what I'll do. Well, and I think one of the best things about Resident Evil 2 is it's one of those few instances of a remake done right. It's not a remaster, and remasters are basically... It seems to me that remasters are easier to do, because it's like, well, at a minimum, you just sort of turn it up to 1080p and, you know, leave the base game alone, and at the very least, you're not going to offend too many people. But a total remake, I feel like the opportunities to go in there and kind of screw with the game might be pretty significant, and
yeah,
for them to come out with a remake of such a beloved game and just make it really good, I think that should be applauded.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where they've somehow managed to redo this game and keep the spirit of Resident Evil 2 alive while not sacrificing creature comforts,
right,
for that kind of backwards thinking. It's like, yeah, okay, there's a lot of stuff about this that is dated, but they've got rid of the most annoying stuff. The stupid tank controls, the map is so much better. Like the fact that there's an assisted difficulty in there now, where it's just essentially it's a cakewalk to get through the game.
Right.
Like they've done so much good things to help with bringing this game forward into the modern day. It's like, okay, give me Resident Evil 3, because that game was a chore at the best of times.
Oh boy, yeah.
And give me Resident Evil 8, since you clearly can make 7 and 2 remake within 2 years of each other.
Right.
Give me a 2-year cycle where you remake an old one and you make a new one.
I like it then at the cycle will get longer and longer, so by the time you remake 7, we're on like putting out 17, and then okay, well, it's time to remake Resident Evil 1 again. All right, let's start working on that.
Well, don't forget you've got a remake. Well, I think 1 deserves a remake in this vein, because the 1 remake that already exists, the GameCube one, it's good, but it maintains too much of the old stuff, I think. Right. So you got to remake 1. I forgot
about Resident Evil 0 too.
Yep. You've got 0, you've got Code Veronica X, you've got the stupid first-person game that nobody played.
You know, the other game that I forgot about too that I feel like they could almost revitalize now were the PS2 4-player co-op ones. You remember those ones?
Nope.
It was such a cool idea where like you and 3 other people would get dumped into a Resident Evil game, and the 4 of you have to work together to solve the puzzles and kill the zombies to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on the PS2 where there's no real infrastructure, there was no voice chat. It was all, you know, using the D-pad to do little like voice quips.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that might be something you could make happen now.
Well, yeah, and they also did that stupid co-op like third-person shooter like Umbrella Special Ops or whatever game.
God, that's right, yeah.
Yep.
Umbrella Corps, maybe?
Yeah, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
They've got a library of games.
For better or for worse.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Capcom, do me a favor and just passed that Rengen over to Square and then
Yeah,
whisper in Square's ear, Parasite Eve.
that's right.
Please.
Parasite Eve 1 through 3 pack would probably do really well.
Oh, I wish Square would put the amount of thought into a remake as they do, because you've only got to go and look at the remakes that Square have done, and
Yeah.
they've not always been great.
No.
Boy, if they took the time and the care, I think it could be something special. And Parasite Eve always has a special place in my heart, especially the second one. But you know what else Capcom could remake? And I know my wife is with me on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis would be a crazy remake to do that. I feel like you could put that out on, not do a ton to it, put it out on digital platforms for like $20.
I think if the, I mean, I know it's not there, it's not Resident Evil, but the first one was essentially Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs. But I think if they could do it, it would be a perfect chance for them to get another big IP back into the world, so they're not just depending on Resident Evil and Street Fighter, because it feels like that's all Capcom have right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have Monster Hunter.
Well, yeah,
their largest selling game of all time.
Yeah, but you know, give me a Dino Crisis.
Yeah, Resident Evil plus dinos plus space.
Yeah, stick it in that engine. You tell me that engine doesn't look gorgeous. Give me a Dino Crisis or a Dino Crisis 2 remade with that stuff. I would be pleased as punch. Please, Capcom. Let's see where else. I played some last day of June. Game Club just came out for that one.
Yep.
Going up on Wednesday?
No, Game Club will be out right now.
Okay.
As you listen to this, not while you're watching live. I haven't edited it yet.
Check your feeds, pointing down.
Right below this one.
Yes. Interesting game. There were some discussions to be had on that one, which we did have.
Yep.
So go check out the Game Club episode for that one. Oh boy. I played some Apex Legends.
I played a couple of matches today too, solo. Yeah,
this destroyed my and my wife's Saturday and then Sunday morning.
It's real easy to just, I got killed, I just hit that Y button and just get right back in there.
Yeah, I mean, we may have played it for like 4 hours yesterday and like 3 hours this morning.
Yeah.
This morning, not such a good run.
My runs were not good today either.
Yesterday we did good. Yesterday we were generally speaking top 3 every single time.
Wow.
And we did walk away with a whopping 2 victories.
Whoa, hey.
Winner, champion dinner.
Right.
Which was really, really, really pleasing. Really disappointing was the fact that I am choosing specific people to try and work on those sweet, sweet Chivos. Accidentally didn't pick Bloodhound. Accidentally picked Wraith. And won.
Okay, interesting.
Bloodhound was the one I wanted to win with, and it's like, oh no, crap! I didn't pick Bloodhound. Oh well, we'll die, we'll respawn. I'll pick Bloodhound next time. No, we went on to win that match.
Wow.
Which I was pleased with, but I was very annoyed with myself at the same time.
Right.
So Apex Legends is kind of great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing.
The only bad thing I have to say about it really is that I don't really want to buy any of the skins or anything because they're way overpriced.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I sit on it right now. It's like, okay,
good for my wallet because now I'm not going to spend anything.
I mean, I might drop for the battle pass when they start doing that kind of stuff.
I probably will buy the battle pass. That would be a day one purchase for me if there was cross progression. I will forever want cross progression in every game. Cough, Destiny 2, cough. But we know who the culprit is, and it's Sony.
Yes. Which, oh boy, there.
Boy, the developers of Wargroove came out hot on Sony this week, saying like, "Hey, we wanted to put the game out on your platform, but you ignored us when we asked for cross-platform. So we did it with everybody else, and we're waiting on you. So whenever you want to stop being dumb, let us know." It's like, Great.
It's so good. Like, especially considering that came after like the stupid CEO, president, whatever, came out was like, oh, it's a switch on our end. It's dead simple. You speak to your rep, we flip a switch, it's done. It's like literally you had devs responding to you saying,
tried.
no, you don't.
Right.
You big liar. It's
Email
great.
us back, man. Yeah.
But yeah, Apex Legends, it's great. Biocat. So we had the two victories. I can't help but mention them. Like the first victory we had was a shock because we had somebody go down in the first 2 minutes of the round and immediately quit. Like,
oh, good.
Not even wait for the bleed out timing to go.
Right.
But quit.
Fantastic.
It's like, great. Thank you for understanding the nature of a squad game, and sometimes in order to pick you up, we have to back away first because
it's not
people
PUBG,
are on you.
I was going to get you.
So he quit, and then it was like, okay, we'll just foot around and see how things go. Made it all the way through to the end.
Nice.
Like, shocking. Like, my wife and I, teamwork, putting people down, did really well throughout the course of the entire game. And that one ended really stupidly, where there was 3 squads left and we were all like in a triangle shooting at each other.
Like, yeah,
it was
like action movies where you have 2 pistols out pointed at 2 other people.
Pretty much, yeah. And it was like we were shooting at one squad, then the other squad, and like the ring was closing in, and you're trying to like set. We basically did a ringa Rosie around this rock where we're all chasing each other. And it's like, well, okay. And then eventually we just get the message. It's like, oh, 1 squad left. So like slide down this hill, like into this building. It's like, he's got to be around here somewhere. I've got to try and clean up this mess. Like, we've got full health and full shields because we just popped all of our stuff to get our health back up. Slid down this hill into this building, and there's a person standing in front of me with the big shield container out. I was like, I need to kill him now. Missed like 4 shots, and I was thinking, well, this is where he shoots me and kills me. Put him down and got the champion message. I was like, oh my word, thank you. Thank you. Good. It was I thought about this earlier today. It was what I will refer to as a striker's goal, or a striker's goal in soccer parlance, which is to say someone who goes in and just taps it into the back of the net after everybody else has done all the hard work and the cluster has died down a little bit. And the other one was essentially just a battle while the ring was closing in around us, and all about trying to like put people down while avoiding ring damage. And like, how many squads are left? We don't know. Oh wait, we won! Yay!
Nice.
It's like, oh.
I think the only thing that I have to say about Apex Legends, and there's not much more for us to say about it that much, and we don't want to. You're probably, to be fair, you're probably hearing about Apex Legends on literally every other podcast you're listening to, whether it's video game related or not. So we're not really going to belabor the point. I feel one of my biggest problems in Apex Legends, and I think this is just experience related, is I'm having a really hard time seeing enemies sometimes. I feel like there's a gunfight going on near me, and like I can see where my team members are shooting, and I cannot see the person that they're firing at.
When was the last time you had an eye inspection, or whatever that thing is called?
Too long. But I mean, I feel like that's part of one of the reasons why I like Apex Legends, is I feel like when you look at something like Overwatch, the characters seem really big in the world. I feel like Apex Legends, they feel appropriately sized in the world. Like they're smaller than I think a lot of hero games would make the characters.
Yeah, except for Gibraltar. He's just a chunky boy.
Yeah, he's just a big dude. Yeah. But yeah, Apex Legends is great. Find us on our platforms. Moonpier for Xbox One, also Jansen on Xbox One and PSN.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure that if I'm at work and my wife is at home, and you send her a message, 0 space bearded lady 0.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure if you send her a message, just make sure you send a message saying fan of the show or whatever, which I need to actually specify now. If you want to play with us, do me a favor and just send me a message before you send an invite saying who you are.
Yeah.
Like, just say, like, TVGP or fan or whatever like that.
I get a lot of spam.
Yeah. And I get a lot of people who I've just played with who want to invite me to a party so they can smack talk about how bad I am, even though, you know. So just send a message like TVGP fan, whatever it is. I'll get you on my friends list, and then we'll know exactly what's going on then. But yeah, if you send my wife a message, she'll probably play it because this game seems to have destroyed her soul.
There you go.
So yeah, Apex Legends, sell your soul for free.
Yeah.
Worth the price. My final game this week. It's a really good transitional game because I know you played it too.
I've played a lot of this.
Yep, I haven't played a lot. I played a fair bit. This is the one, the only 2007's Game of the Year, Crackdown 3.
I've probably put about 5 hours into Crackdown 3. I'm really excited to talk about it because I am really surprised that I am enjoying it a lot. I
am really not surprised by how much flack this game is getting.
That's one of 2019's least surprising news story. Hey, reviewers don't like Crackdown 3.
Yep, because I'm going to ask you a series of questions, Boston.
Okay, I'm here for you.
And if you could respond in the yay-nay capacity, and we'll figure out why we like Crackdown. Okay. So, in a Crackdown sequel, did you want more orbs to collect?
Yes.
Big, massive jumps?
Hell yes.
Punching people in the face and sending them flying?
That's always a yes.
Collecting vehicles, picking them up over your head, and then throwing them at dudes?
That's not a requirement, but I'll take it.
Okay. Average gun control / aiming things?
Sure.
Really dumb, almost pointless story?
Yeah, I'm definitely here for that.
Okay, so you should like Crackdown 3.
Yeah. I think the thing that's hard... I think the thing that's hard to explain about Crackdown 3 is that it is a direct sequel to Crackdown 1 in every way, and for better or for worse, has not taken any opportunity to make a game better than Crackdown 1. It basically puts it in a carbon copy machine, goes, and Crackdown 3 comes out alongside Crackdown 1, and they go, here you go, it's a new one.
It's an upscaler machine as well.
Yeah, and like, I was a little bit disappointed when I started playing it because I forgot how weak your agent is at the beginning of Crackdown, and during the first hour or so, I equated that to, God, Crackdown 3 is really bad. Like, I'm not having fun. Like, the number of story cutscenes they just pepper you with at the beginning is a little high, because you're...
Out of curiosity, can you name any of the villains?
Sure, I've killed 3 of them, and I know one of them is an AI called Roxy.
That's the only one I could name. I couldn't tell you the actual name of anyone else.
No, and to me that's fine, because I feel like that's almost Crackdown to a T, where it's like, this is the weapons guy, this is the AI for the city, here's the guy that's making this like poison drink thing. You just have to take all of them out, and then it'll weaken the top lady, and then you'll eventually kill her in 5 or 6 hours, because the game is fairly short. But once I got past that initial intro where Echo stopped telling me, like, hey, go take down this monorail, let's just get through the intro, I'm going to keep pestering you. And I kept saying, shut up, there are agility orbs. Once I got past that, once you get into the city proper, it's like the biggest power fantasy you can play, and the game thankfully immediately gives you a double jump and an air dash. Combining those, man, that stuff feels really good.
I got my double air dash yesterday.
Oh man, that sounds right.
Oh boy, is it really good to do the agility level 2 rooftop races, and it's just like, I'm just gonna air dash through this ring and land on the next ring. Nailed it. It's video games distilled to their purest forms as they used to be viewed, as a power fantasy where you just get to mess stuff up with zero consequences.
Yeah.
It's not trying to tell a big worldly story. It's not trying to make you feel for your boy. It's not trying to rebuild a desolate world after an apocalypse. It's
here to say quack quack mother effer.
Yes.
You know,
it's exactly what it's there to say.
That's what it's there. And I have to say, having Terry Crews in the game feels a little bit unfair because I'm not going to play as anybody else. I'm going to play as Terry Crews.
I am not playing as Terry Crews.
Okay.
I am playing as one of the other agents, mostly because their XP bonus was 10% driving and 5% agility. And I hate the driving, and I want to get agility as fast as I can.
So my question for you is actually, now that since you're not playing Terry Crews voice when you're playing the game is really low in the mix. Is that a problem with the other agents?
Yes, mine is quite quiet when they speak too.
Okay.
It's a little. The game is very loud at almost all times.
Yep.
Because I started unlocking the explosive weapons, and oh boy, are some of those things just insane.
The weapon I like so far, I really wish I know the name of it. It's the one that just shoots a fire laser.
I've got the acid version. I don't have the fire version yet.
Boy, you need to get the fire version because the acid version doesn't work on everything. Fire version works on everything. It sets cars on fire, people, robots, drones.
Yep. I have the bolt rifle, I think.
Pulse rifle is pretty good, yeah.
No, the bolt rifle, which fires like superheated chunks of lead. So it does set people on fire too. So I do have that option available to me. I mean, it's Crackdown. I'm jumping around. I'm collecting orbs. I do have a very major complaint with this game, which I'll get into in a second, but it was hilarious playing this with my wife and it being like that Family Guy skit where it's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. And it's like orb, orb, orb,
and
orb.
Thankfully, they still have the same orb collection noise and like the same orb pulse noise, so it's poking your brain just like, oh yeah, I picked up an agility orb. That's good stuff.
I know I've played too much Crackdown when I'm standing next to a building and I think to myself, that sounds like a hidden orb. And I go around the corner. It's like, yep, that's a hidden orb.
It's a doorway with a hidden. I totally forgot about the hidden orbs until I played this, and I was just like, oh, okay, there's 250 of these. All right, yeah, that's gonna be. This game's
like
all right.
700 agility orbs.
I think I had when I started. Starts off in that really tiny area, and I picked up one agility orb, and it was like 1 out of 75, and I was like, well, that sucks. Like, there better not be 75 in this game. Picked up another one and said, like, the area name, 2 out of 75. I was like, that's more like, all right, thank you. That's more like it.
And I'm already I'm agility level 4 already, almost at 5.
Yeah, I'm not at 4 yet, but I'm really close.
How are you on driving right now?
1. Mostly because of hidden orbs.
Get to 2.
Okay.
Because right now you can now summon the agency car, I believe.
I must have just gotten to. Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. So when the first car you can summon is Lightning, who does side dashes when you're driving really quick. So if you're going down a highway,
Sleepy Dog style,
you don't have to actually. Yeah, exactly. Sleepy Dogs all the way, and you can dodge through traffic without having to actually steer. You just do a little side dash.
Nice.
When you get it up to level 2, you get the Spider.
Okay.
And a Louise. This Spider is the car from Crackdown. I think it was. I don't know if it was in 1. I think it might have been. But it's that big bouncy one with like wheels and it's stilts and it's like highly raised up.
I think that was in 1.
So it has the same jump feature. Except this time it has magnetic tires.
Great.
So if you jump and then land your wheels on a wall, you can just straight drive up the side of buildings.
That's exactly what I wanted.
Thank you, Crackdown, for being exactly what I'm asking for.
Yeah.
I get it. People look at, like, from a critical standpoint, if it's your job to critique these things, this game is an average game. It's a
6-hour game, and like each type of mission has 2 variants, and that's it. And unlocking each boss and beating each boss is pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I can collect agility orbs and jump over buildings, so whatever.
Yeah, if you like video games and you're not a critic, This
Yeah.
might just be the game for you because it's all about the things that you love about video games without all of the stupid seriousness, which in 2019 we need some stupid.
And honestly, this is the type of game that Game Pass was made for. You can blow through this in a weekend with your friends, and none of you are going to drop $60. And if you really like it, you're going to go collect all the agility orbs. If you don't like it, you can just delete it, and you're not out $60. And it's not that big. And it's, to me, Game Pass is really great for these level of B games. This is a B game 100% of the way. It has some serious funding behind it, mostly for their much-touted cloud service. I haven't played the multiplayer at all. But this game is just dumb power fantasy fun, and it is still, even after Saints Row 4, it is still fun to collect agility orbs.
Yeah, and it harkens back to that so well. It's still got the same sound, like you said, the same sounds, the same collections, the same everything. It's exactly what I need because this is the game that brought agility orbs to life.
And the shooting still feels wonky, and the controls aren't right. Like, they should have swapped X and LB, because it would have been easy to have pick up stuff on LB and reload on X. That's how it should have been. Because you're going to reload more than you're going to pick stuff up. But at the end of the day, you hold L2 or left trigger to highlight somebody, and then you just hold down right trigger just to light them up.
Yeah, it's also stuff like I can't remember if it was in 1, but for those of you who don't know, clicking your right stick is also a jump button, which allows you to maneuver the camera while at the same time, like, doing your double jumps and your dashes and stuff like that in the air.
Right.
So you don't have to lose control of the camera while at the same time trying to maneuver these jumps. It's a really smart little touch. They don't have the stupid orb ping, which really annoys me, the fact that they don't have it from 2.
Interesting. I hadn't realized.
I wish they did. Unfortunately, they don't. And my biggest negative with this game, I don't think I can play it with my wife.
Right. Yeah, you'd mentioned this yesterday. Like, on the same network, it just poops out.
Yep. So while I was playing with my wife, we have had issues like this before. Friday the 13th, we officially cannot play that game together anymore. It will not even allow us to get into the same party as each other.
Weird.
So at some point they've patched something, and it must be because we're on the same network.
Right.
We just can't play together. While we were trying to play Crackdown 3, we jumped in together. We started the game together, and it ran poorly, would be an understatement.
Right.
Like, we were looking at sub 20 frames a second at times, like hitchy, really latent controls, like firing, everything. It wasn't running that well at all. And when I was playing it with her, I thought, okay, I can understand where all the criticism has come from.
Right, this game is just a mess.
And then we thought, because we would constantly getting notifications in the corner, like network slow, network fine, network slow, slow, medium, slow, 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 fine, medium, slow, slow, slow. And it just kept on going and going. So I'm curious, because I know some of our community members have been playing it co-op. I want to know if they've had the similar issues.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
It doesn't, which means it's really annoying, because this is a game I really wanted to play with my wife and introduce her to the world that is Crackdown.
Right.
But guess what happened? We stopped playing together. We went into our own worlds. Like, oh no, now it runs crystal smooth. Now the frame rate is fine.
It's a stable game.
It's stable. The controller latency has completely vanished.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I went from a really poor opinion at first to testing it single player, and guess what? It works fine.
Yeah. Jimbo Jangles in chat says, I love how if you fall off a propaganda tower, you can spawn back on the highest ledge you were at. Nice touch. I didn't know that. That would have saved me a lot of time yesterday.
Yep. But I love it. It's a game for me, and yeah, I like Crackdown 3.
Cosmic Storm in chat says, I can't believe Phil Spencer would talk about this game every chance he got. Yeah, the thing that seems weird is it seems weird for them to have promoted this as much as it is, mostly because it's a good game. It's not even an average game. I think it's a really solid game. It's really not a big tentpole release for them. In the same way that Crackdown 1 and 2 never were. Like, you can't say Gears and Crackdown. Like, they're never on the same level.
No, Crackdown was the thing that they put the Halo demo in both times.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Crackdown was. Like, to be honest, I think the only reason this has been talked about and pushed as much as it was is because I honestly think that for Spencer, this is one of his games. I think he is a Crackdown boy.
Yeah.
And if you are the head of a major corporation and you get the chance to promote one of your games, like if Boston suddenly was in charge of the Sony development side of things, guarantee you Boston would get up on E3 stage and start talking about all the visual novels coming out.
Days Gone is going to be real great when it comes out in 2019.
Yeah. And you'll tell everybody about all the visual novels that are out and how much you're looking forward.
Scramble on sale right now.
There you go.
Yep.
You would talk about that, and everybody would be like, "Why is this idiot talking about these visual novels?" Would be like,
"Sit down, nerd."
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do think Spencer is a Crackdown boy, and God love him for it, because I think this wouldn't have happened without him.
No, probably not. I mean, I think when you look at Crackdown 3, I think you're playing a game that had a troubled development. I don't know that for sure. It sure as hell seems like it, because it seems like for a Crackdown game that's been in development for a number of years, none of us really know how long, it sure seems more bare bones than you would expect a game to be in development for this long to be. Again, not having played the Wrecking Crew.
Yes, the Wrecking Crew.
Because you can't party up with people and play Wrecking Crew right now, which means I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. For me, it's mostly a case of I'm curious how much they ripped out when they had to basically change the entire skew of everything.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Wrecking Crew is the remnants of what that was, but we'll never know at this point. And you know what? That's fine. I'm happy with the Crackdown I got. I'm enjoying playing it. I will probably play with community members and see what messes we can get up to, especially when Wrecking Crew can be played with people you know.
Right.
And I'm fine with that. This is the game that I'm looking forward to. This is the game. Go ahead.
We have so many games right now that are games as a service or battle royale games or 100-hour JRPGs that it's okay for a game to come out every once in a while that's like 6-hour campaign. You have the whole island unlocked, and you can collect agility orbs, or you can do driving challenges, or like me, I'm probably going to collect a whole bunch of agility orbs and sort of say, all right, I had my fun, I'm going to go off and go play something else. And that's okay, especially with it being a Game Pass game and not dropping that $60 on it. If I play for 10 hours, okay. That's the perfect use case for Game Pass. Yeah,
and I've seen a bunch of people saying like, well, just because it's on Game Pass, it's not an excuse. And you're right, it's not an excuse.
Sure,
you can still go out and buy this game for $60, and if you do that and you don't like it, that's on you.
Yeah.
Just as it always was on you to do the necessary research on games before you buy them. Like,
yeah. And now you have Game Pass. There's no reason not to have Game Pass if you have an Xbox One.
Yeah, you are perfectly fine and within your right to be unhappy with it.
Yeah,
that's fine. Don't be telling me I'm wrong for enjoying my time with this game. Yeah. I need something where I get to smash some stuff up and really just let loose.
Yeah,
and this is Crackdown 3, and I'm gonna play it more and more. And unlike you, I will not give up. I have 1,000 gamer score in Crackdown 1. I have 1,200 in Crackdown 2. I will not stop.
I don't know if I got 1,000 in the first one. I know I collected all the agility orbs. I feel like there's something I didn't do in the first one maybe it was difficulty. You had to beat it on a higher difficulty. Maybe I didn't do that. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know if I feel driven to do it in this one. Mostly just because of backlog.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is the thing. It's like, it's the same thing that's always happened, where it's just like, oh god, I'm kind of glad it's short, because at the end of the day, it will allow me to move on and play these other games. I mean, I've got Yakuza 0 on my plate. I've got Red Dead Redemption 2 on my plate. I've got
100 hours.
Exactly. I've got Kingdom Hearts 3 still sitting there waiting to be played, but all I want to do is play Resident Evil and Crackdown 3.
Right.
And Apex Legends.
Yeah, Resident Evil and Crackdown, like, what year is it?
That's a very good point.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's all you played this week, right?
Yep.
Speaking of Kingdom Hearts 3, I platinumed it.
Why?
Because the platinum is really easy, and by the time you finish that game, you're more than halfway towards getting the platinum.
Okay, that's not bad. That's the kind of game I actually like.
None of them are difficulty based. You don't have to beat it on Proud. I almost wish they would have put it in there, because Proud difficulty is...
No. No. You shut your mouth now.
Proud is always a great... I will always fight anyone who says you need to play it on Proud the first time. That's wrong. Stop doing that. I always like playing Proud the second time, because I like seeing how far the game can push back on you. Proud does usually require you to grind, which is not what I want to do in Kingdom Hearts at all.
Yeah.
But I beat the secret boss, who I didn't realize was a secret boss until I looked it up later. I beat it.
It's always a good secret boss if you don't actually realize it's a secret boss.
Yeah, and it's not really a nod to anything, which is kind of a bummer. You know, a lot of the secret bosses in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, especially the two big, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, have always been nods to other franchises or other series, you know, Sephiroth and...
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 had the best secret boss because A, he was the hardest boss in the game, and B, he took an already killer piece of music and made it one of the best video game musics ever.
Yeah, and you had, like, other ones, and Ziso is one of them, you know, the fan-winning boss. The one in this, I beat it at level 60 with Ultimate Weapon with no problem.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of a bummer. I thought the battle gates were a cool idea. Basically, they're once you beat the game, all across the game, there are these little like blue orbs that spawn. You go up and interact with them, and basically they send a couple of waves of enemies at you. Cool idea. Makes it easy to farm for synthesis materials, which is really nice, or grind to get to level 99, which wasn't... Once I was done with everything else, I was like a level 95. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, there's very little grinding I needed to do. I had a lot of trouble with the secret menu recipes at the bistro. It's once you beat the game, there's 7 additional things that you unlock. Each one of those will give you an ingredient that unlocks the secret menu. And so I looked it up, and I didn't realize I had an item called the Gourmand Ring that makes
missing things. It makes the mini games easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it's stupid easy how much easier they are. So knocked that out pretty quickly.
Do you want to know when you received that?
Probably really early in the game.
Literally, he gives you the ring when you give him the ingredients when you first meet him.
Of course. So like within the first 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's on me. Yeah. But yeah, I did 64 hours was my platinum time. That is counting, you know, child freakout pause time.
Yeah.
So who knows what time that really was? Probably more around 40 hours, which...
Yeah, with you, that can mean anything from -20 to -4.
Right. Or in the case of Destiny, like -400. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't have much else to say about it that I didn't say last week. it's a good game. I don't think my feelings have changed after platinuming it. There wasn't anything secret at the end. There wasn't any like 100% completion, anything like that, which is fine.
Yeah.
But Kingdom Hearts is good. Don't start with Kingdom Hearts 3. That's not the thing you should do. Yeah. And last but not least, Destiny 2 had the, just really quickly, Destiny 2 had the Valentine's Day event called Crimson Days. I didn't really do that last year. I think that was the Curse of Osiris release, which we don't really talk about anymore. So I decided to play it this year, and I had a lot of fun with it. It makes me really wish I had done it last year. They put a new, every time this comes around, they put a PvP mode in called Crimson Doubles. It's a 2v2 mode, and basically when you and your teammate are close to each other, your abilities recharge very quickly. When you're separated from each other, the enemies can see where you are. It basically puts a little thing above your head that you can see through walls.
Interesting.
Yeah, and when your teammate dies, you move much, much, much faster. So it's this kind of interesting push and pull of you and your teammate are trying to stay close to each other and fight the enemies off that are also trying to stay close to each other. And I wish it was in the game more often, because it was legitimately really fun and had a lot of really close matches where we're going into single overtime, double overtime, sudden death, where it's wipe out the other team or capture this flag. You know, we're going into some pretty crazy close matches, sometimes with only 3 or 4 kills per round.
Wow.
Which was really fun. So it's one of those modes that, you know, I am with Bungie that, you know, Mayhem shouldn't be here 24/7. You know, doubles shouldn't be here 24/7, because you don't want to fracture and fragment the player base more than it is already.
Yeah, you don't want to Call of Duty them.
Yeah, and there are 5 different modes in the PvP screen. One of them it's like quick play, ranked, private, and then Rumble, which is the free-for-all one, and then the big one in the middle is like the featured one they have every week. And sometimes that's Showdown or Lockdown or some of these other modes or Supremacy. It'd be nice if Crimson Doubles was in that rotation, even if it came out like once every 3 months, that'd be okay. Speaking of once every 3 months, they announced that the new season starts March 5th. So we are...
Save up your $60 for the next pass.
No, this is still the same pass. This pass, thankfully, they have been truthful about it, and the annual pass will last the majority of this year. I think it'll last 9 months. So that's not too bad. They're talking about making some fundamental changes to Gambit as part of Season of the Drifter, since it is Gambit themed, especially revolving around invaders in Gambit, which does need a lot of help. I'm hoping that they make some good changes. I'm sincerely hoping that Bungie makes more changes faster. The player base, including myself, are getting tired of, we hear you and we're listening and we're investigating month after month after month, with patches that come out being things that are hurting good classes and not doing things with other classes. So
yeah, how many times are you gonna talk the talk without walking the walk, kind of thing?
Yeah, like PvP is in a pretty bad spot right now because of a Titan exotic called One-Eyed Mask, and it makes that class, it's frustrating because it makes that class really strong, and for Titans, that's the only piece of armor you're going to run on that class in PvP because it's so strong. And without those options, that's really frustrating for both Titans and non-Titans.
Yeah.
And that stuff, that PvP needs a lot of help, and they made the announcement this week about Trials of the Nine. It was called in Destiny 2. It's not coming back anytime soon, and it was removed from the game months ago. And they don't have it on the slate for like the next 2 seasons, which is 6 months. And
good job putting that achievement in, guys.
well, now you can get it by just talking to Zur. Then that'll pop the achievement for you, which is
Really?
Yeah, which was them saying like, yeah, guys, a lot of you needed it for the platinum, so here's the other way to get it. It's not coming back in Destiny 2, probably. And that's a real bummer. Is that was Destiny 2 is in a really good place for a lot of reasons. And there are a couple of, as PvP especially, a couple of aspects of the game where it's sort of like, that stuff needs a lot of help, and it needs a lot of help really quickly. And honestly, I think myself included, we've been sort of spoiled by stuff like Fortnite and a lot of these games that are coming out with patches very, very quickly. And
Yeah.
I like, as someone who doesn't play Fortnite, I like looking at Fortnite. They throw a lot of stuff against the wall. And if it doesn't stick, they pull it out and they work on it and they try again.
Yeah.
You see these things where it's like, we came out with this cool new weapon, we thought you guys like it. Whoops, it broke the game. Okay, sorry, we're pulling it back out. Sorry about that. We screwed up.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone talks about how Fortnite changed the game with its like player base and everything else and stuff like that, but Fortnite only got that player base and that revenue and that mind share because they did something that's never been done before, and they tweak on what feels like a weekly basis. They've got new patches hitting. Like every time I turn on my Xbox, I've got a Fortnite patch, and it's just like, okay. Like,
I had to uninstall it from my PS4 because it was always updating, which is great. But you know,
like that's what changed Fortnite. That's what changed the game. It's not about, you know, this free-to-play stuff. It helps that they've got essentially an art style that everyone can, that's basically any age can play.
Yep.
Relatively fun gameplay, minus the shooting someone turning into an 8-story building trick.
Right.
But it's fast fixes. It's this is broken fix. This is broken fix. This is not good enough.
Or at
fix.
least
It's like
trying stuff. Like, and it was. Did you see some of the feedback on Apex Legends last week? There's a bunch of people on Twitter saying like, "Man, you guys have to patch this game way more often, or this game is gonna die and it's gonna be stagnant." It's like it's been out for literally 10 days. You need to take a breath. I think there's this interesting expectation of Fortnite patches so frequently, and they're fixing and they're attempting stuff that you look at a lot of these other live service games or battle royale games, and it's sort of like, all right, well, I understand you want to have the game be balanced, and I understand you have these visions and these goals of, especially with Bungie, of how you want your game to look and behave and play and balance and all that stuff. You just gotta try. You just gotta either communicate or try. Because like the frustrating thing about Bungie is they're saying, well, Trials in the Nine isn't coming back because we haven't found a mode that meets our needs and our desires for what that game mode should look like. See you later. It's like, what are your goals then? Like, what are you aiming for that these modes that we were happy with, you pulled out and you've replaced it with nothing? Like, what are your goals? At this point, like, let the community help you at least. Yeah,
it feels like Bungie are a little bit stuck in the middle when it comes to communication. Like, you've got the famous No Man's Sky, no comunicado kind of approach.
They disappeared.
Then you've got like a lot of indie developers with their 100% communication kind of thing. And then you've got Destiny, where they're just like, yeah, this is what we're thinking.
Right.
That's all, folks.
Wait for a weekly update.
No more. Bye.
Yeah. But I've complained about Destiny 2 enough. Until next week. But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Now, what's that song? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is that Sesame Street?
I think so. It has to be. 5.
I've gone from Lord of the Rings music stuck in my head to Sesame Street.
Pinball song.
Yes, it's that one.
What is this? There's a YouTube video. I'm going to try and mute it here quickly so I don't... old school educational animation. Oh, I think it was just like a educational bumper video. Yeah, the elephant spits out the ball. It goes on the little baseball field. Yeah, I think this was just a bumper.
Dude, we're so fucking old.
I know.
I've also the other piece of music I've got it stuck in my head, and I'm sorry for all you Lord of the Rings fans listening to the outtakes / listening live now. It's the Sauron's theme tune. The ba-da-ba-bum-bum. And congratulations, now that song is stuck in your head too.
I feel lucky because I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen those movies enough to have the theme stuck in my head.
I saw Two Towers in the theaters 4 times in 2 days.
Wow. Two Towers is so good. Part of the reason why I don't watch those movies anymore is because the end of the third one makes me cry like a bitch. When he says you stand for no one, I'm up there like, oh God.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, Forrest Gump ending. Is he like me?
Oh, stupid Forrest Gump. I don't like Forrest Gump.
Do not say that around my wife. She will rip your throat out.
I think Forrest Gump is a fine movie. I really don't like it.
Yeah. That is probably the best moment in that movie for me, because it's the whole culmination of him realizing that he knows there's something wrong with him, and his biggest concern is that his kid has something wrong with him.
My problem with Forrest Gump is my problem with so many of those movies. I call them tear factories. They're just made to make you cry. And it's always like, you know, the kid with one leg learns how to ski, and Hans Zimmer's score bursts in and blah, 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 and you're like, look at him. It feels so manipulative.
So, not a fan of the Green Mile, I take it?
Green Mile, I saw in the theater, and I thought it was fine, but I had read the book beforehand, so it was sort of like, all right, yeah, like, okay, it's a Green Mile. Like, you picked a really great guy to play the prisoner guy, and Tom Hanks is always good. Yeah, Green Mile's fine.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I don't want to make this sound like I'm some fucking film bourgeois over here, being like, oh, if it makes me feel any emotion except for ennui, I really don't care for it.
I know. Who do you think you are, Mackie? I'm just kidding, Mackie.
Maggie's gonna bust in your house and be like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the wheels to touch down from the plane from Florida already.
Right. I don't know, but I'm so particular about movies. Like, I just, in the way that I'm not particular about games, like, I'll play any game that comes out. Almost all of them, they're like sports games I'll try. Why the hell not? Like, sure, I'll give it a shot. But there's a bunch of movies, like, I don't want to watch war movies, I don't want to watch sports movies, I don't want to watch tear factories.
All sports movies? Or...
Basically, yeah, like, I couldn't give a shit. Like, either they're gonna win, and at the end of the day, and everyone's gonna, Rudy, that's fine, I've seen Rudy, I'm good. Or they're gonna lose, and it's gonna be a super bummer, and hey, not everyone gets to win, credits.
I smell pizza, god damn it. I could smell pizza.
I could go for some pizza right now.
So, Rocky, yay, nay?
Rocky's fine, yeah.
Okay. Watch Prefontaine. The one time that Jared Leto should prove that he could act.
Jared Leto's fine.
Jared Leto's
not as a human, but like as an actor. Jared Leto is a human. The jury is definitely out.
Yeah, he's a bit like Edward Norton. Edward Norton is a fucking incredible actor. He's one of my favorite actors, period. As a human, questionable.
Yeah. Yeah, like Edward Norton, you can plop him in anything. Gary Oldman, plop him in anything, you know it'll be good. Or at least he'll be good. You'll be like, a movie wasn't really great, but man, Ed Norton can act the shit out of a role.
Fuck, I miss Gary Oldman, man. He hasn't been in enough movies that I've seen. Like, I haven't seen Churchill. The only reason why I want to see Churchill is because Gary Oldman's in that movie. Yeah,
I'm curious to see that, but I feel like the bad part about it is Churchill and The Crown. You're not gonna beat that performance.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
It's just, that's outstanding.
The biggest thing for me though is because I want to see Churchill to see if they actually represented him as who he is.
Right.
which is to say everyone has this holier-than-thou view of Churchill, and it's like, yeah, you might want to go and look into some of the things he has done or said or actions he took while as Prime Minister.
He wasn't a war hero.
No.
Yeah.
He was a very, very good speaker in a time when we needed a very good speaker to counter a different very good speaker.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm so weird about movies because I feel like I don't make movies a priority time-wise, so I want to watch like the best of the best. Like I really want to watch Into the Spider-Verse because number one, as a comic book movie, and I know like I don't care if I'm a basic bitch, I like comic book movies a lot. And number two, it looks fucking cool. It's gonna be out on Blu-ray soon.
Have you seen any GIFs of it in motion?
Oh yeah, that's all Twitter is right now.
No nausea for you right now?
What's that?
No nausea with the GIFs or anything?
No. I don't really get nausea from... the only time I get nausea from movies is when you have a fixed camera and then, like, suddenly the camera starts tilting to one side or the other.
The Inception stuff.
Inception isn't bad because the room is moving, the camera isn't.
Yeah.
God, I love it.
The only reason I bring up the nausea is because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse might kick your vertigo a little bit, which I hope it doesn't, but it might because the way the panels are laid out, like with the dots and stuff. Like, it's really weird.
My vertigo's been getting better and better as time goes on. I'm having a bad day today, but more often than not, I'm waking up and being like, all right, I woke up and the room isn't spinning. Yeah. And then I lost my voice for 2 days this week. So, like...
It's not one shoe, it's the other.
Yeah, for real.
My wife pointed out somebody posted an article saying The Incredibles 2 is one of the greatest animated movies of all time. Number one, no, it's not. The Incredibles is better.
So my wife and I just watched The Incredibles last night, which is a movie I really don't like. We watched The Incredibles 2 today. There's a movie I also really don't like. There's something about The Incredibles. Number one, Incredibles is not a bad movie. It's a very well-made movie that does nothing for me. Like it does not resonate with me at all. I love the style of it, like the mid-century modern stuff. I love mid-century modern houses and style. I really love how people's faces look. Like everybody's nose is like a perfect square and everything is really angular. I really like that. Nothing about the rest of it clicks with me.
I love The Incredibles 1. Well, yeah,
it's sure not the worst Pixar movie. That is Planes, Fire, and Rescue. That's a hot garbage fire.
Don't even know what that is.
It's the Planes sequel. Planes was not a great movie to begin with.
Jesus.
But they made a sequel that is...
It's like the Cars sequel video game where he's a spy.
Or it's Cars 2, which sucks.
But yeah, no, someone posted like the Incredibles 2 is one of the greatest animated movie of all time. Literally scroll through the comments on that article. It's just everyone decided to take it upon themselves to post the trailer for Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
You could scroll for hours.
That was a really great thread. One thing I thought was really great about Incredibles 2 is it's fun to see the two movies side by side. It's really fun to see how far their technology has come from 1 to 2. Like in 2, when she's stopping that speeding train, there's this beautiful sunset in the background, and like the lighting is really great and the colors are really great. They weren't doing that stuff 10 years before that. You know, their tech or their design wasn't there. It's really great to see them step up their game, sort of movie after movie.
I feel bad because the two Pixar sequels I wanted the most are the two kind of I've been the most disappointed in.
Okay.
Incredibles 2 and Dory. Like, Dory's a good movie.
I still haven't watched Dory.
It's a good movie, but Finding Nemo will always have this special place in my heart.
It's a great movie.
Probably because I've seen it like 1,000 times.
My kid hasn't clicked with it yet, but I'm excited / sad for when that day happens.
But yeah, no, it's weird.
Yeah.
I did see Upgrade. Watch Upgrade. I cannot emphasize enough. Watch Upgrade.
Is that the one with Kristen Wiig and Matt Damon?
Ooh. Upgrade is knock off Venom with knock off Tom Hardy. You've seen the OC. You know the guy who comes back and plays Ryan's brother? He's in the new Spider-Man movie. He's in Homecoming.
Downsizing is the movie I was thinking of. The literal inverse of what we're talking about.
But yeah, Ryan's brother from the latter seasons of the OC. He's discount Tom Hardy.
I've seen that the cover with the red lines. Yeah.
Watch that movie.
I'll have to go see it.
Insanely good, and some of the things they do with cameras in that movie, and like acting, like the guy is way better actor than he's been given any credit for to this point. Because he's Shocker #1, who gets immediately iced at the beginning of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Great.
He's Ryan Atwood's brother in the OC, and that's all I remember him from.
Right.
Well, his acting performance in this movie is genuinely great, and some of the tricks they use for the camera stuff is amazing. Really well shot to emphasize kind of a point. And the fact that they did it with like a $5 million budget is something insane.
Wow.
Go away.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Go away. Go away. Can you smell pizza as well? Thank you.
She's trying to get you downstairs for pizza.
Oh, she's trying to get me downstairs to feed her.
Oh, most importantly.
You can wait. The show's almost done.
All right, you ready to wrap this thing up?
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of February 19th, 2019. Steins Gate Elite coming out on PC, Switch, and PS4. If you haven't played Steins Gate before, play the original. I don't think this one replacing the CG images, you know, the beautiful art style of Steins Gate with the animated anime stuff is the right choice. So, but Steins Gate is really good. You should go play that. Speaking of stuff that's really good, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy comes out for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
No.
If you haven't played the Phoenix Wright games, all 3 of these games are great. Every single minute of them.
Please be on Game Pass. I know it's not going to be, but
no,
please.
Probably not. Man, yeah, I feel like this on Switch is probably going to be really great. I'm curious to see how they'll do it on PS4 and Xbox One, because the originals were so touch-focused. But Phoenix Wright games are really great.
Yeah.
Just all 3 of the first ones are outstanding.
I think I played the first one.
Yeah. I think the first one is good. The second one is really great, and I remember the third one being really good too. And lastly, Anthem comes out on the 22nd for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Because we need more games already.
Yeah, I was talking to community member Slick Nick, who we've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 lately. Shout out to Slick Nick. And we were talking about, I'm picking up Anthem because I'm excited to play it, and he'll be picking up The Division 2 because he and his brother and some friends played The Division 1 a lot and did like all the endgame stuff and 100% of that stuff. And I was telling him I'm really interested in Division 2, and I could be really interested in playing it if the reviews are out and like if you and Jess pick it up and you guys really like it. But I can't play 3 of these games all at once. Like, even the idea of Destiny 2 and Anthem together is most of my week.
Well, let me just push this idea past you.
Okay.
You take that box directly to the right of your head on my camera, and you just slide it out the way of a little bit.
This box here with Battleborn in it?
No, I said to the right of your head.
To the right of me, yeah.
The one on the shelf behind you.
Oh, the Destiny 2? You monster.
Yeah. You take that and you just slide it behind your head so you can't see it. And then you put Anthem there and you replace Battleborn with Division, and then you don't have to think about Destiny ever again.
And the great part about Destiny is usually once the first couple of weeks of a season are over, I'm not a raider, so I don't have to play every day of every week. I'll play on reset day, of course, you know, do all the normal weekly stuff. But beyond that, you know, I have more more time to dedicate to Anthem because I don't have a new expansion of Destiny hasn't come out. So
yeah. Oh no, something I liked about Destiny was when I was playing the vanilla Destiny 2. It was like jump in on a Tuesday or whatever it was, play it 4 hours, done for the week.
Yeah. Or like jump in every day for half an hour to an hour, and then you can do that too. Destiny. All right, let's move on to news stories. We usually don't talk about Nintendo Directs because they don't have a lot of surprises in them.
And then they drop the bomb.
February's Nintendo Direct has a lot of surprises. To say how strong this Direct is, they started with Super Mario Maker 2. And that was their beginning game, which so far looks great. It looks like they stuffed more stuff in Mario Maker, which kind of, and then put it on Switch, which is kind of all you wanted.
Yep.
So thanks for putting that on Switch.
I look forward to hearing about and never watching the war between Klepek and
Dan Reichert.
Reichert.
Yeah. Someone's charity will win at the end of the day, at the very least.
Yeah. The fact that got announced and Patrick Klepek tweeted one word is just so great.
Astral Chain is the new Platinum game. Looks crazy in a way that Platinum games are, where they showed a lot of stuff and they showed a lot of graphics and gameplay, and I still am not sure what that thing is.
I'm curious if this is the game that caused them to be taken off whatever they were working on for Sony. Because they were developing something for Sony, just like they did with Battleborn not Battleborn, Beats by Dragon for Microsoft. They were making 2 games at the same time then, and Microsoft took them off that. And it looks like they've just done the exact same thing to Sony.
Well, there's a misconception for one game. They were working with Cygames to put out a Grand Blue game on PS4. That might be the one you're thinking of. Their contract ended. A lot of people are saying, like, oh, they fired Platinum. Platinum came out and they're like, no, we did our work and we're done. So like someone else is gonna finish the other stuff. To me, it almost sounds like Nier Automata, where clearly Platinum made the combat and someone else made this stuff and someone else made they're a contract company now.
Sleepy Dogs.
Yeah, exactly. The Tetris company announced a new Tetris game that's I'm not joking. It's a Tetris Battle Royale called Tetris 99. I've not yet played it because I downloaded it to only realize you need to have Nintendo Online for it, which makes sense. Have not yet purchased that. That's the dumb kind of stuff I want to see out of Tetris, and apparently it's really good.
The best thing is, it's supposed to be incredible. I have managed to hopefully keep this off my wife's radar for a long time.
Right.
So
she doesn't need another Battle Royale.
No, we'll scooch this off and we'll pretend like it doesn't exist, and we'll just pretend that Tetris 99 is a weird anime from Japan, and then we'll be fine.
Yep. They showed Fire Emblem Three Houses. Boy, they showed a lot about that game, and 99% of it was story and lore and kingdoms and houses, and they showed probably about 2 combined minutes of gameplay, and that looks really good because it's Fire Emblem, and those games are really great.
Yep. If you're into it, you're into it. So I will see you and Mina and Musum at the next pub.
Nope, I tapped out of Fire Emblem. The problem is those games are so much and so long, and ironically, they're putting out a lot of them. I can't keep up. And I want to do 100% of those games, and that is asking for trouble. They put out a demo for Daemon X Machina, which is still a really great title.
Yep. And Resident Tech Head gives it 2 thumbs up, so I am 100% interested in this. Nice.
And Musum says he really likes it. So
he's the Resident Tech Head.
Oh, okay. I thought, to me, he's the Resident Mech Head. A little bit of Mech Head PhD.
Yeah, we'll go with Mech Head.
Yeah. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice going to be coming to Switch. They showed a bunch of I mentioned this because it's surprising that title is going to come to Switch. It doesn't seem like a natural fit. But they showed a couple of games that are getting ported over from other platforms, and Hellblade looked really good. And Dead by Daylight and Assassin's Creed 3 looked really bad. Dead by Daylight got hit with something, and that trailer.
Sad to hear.
Yeah.
Because Dead by Daylight is one of the most beautiful looking games I've played on the current gen of platforms. And that includes the X features.
Yeah.
Like, before that, the game is gorgeous.
Not to be mean, it looks like a launch 360 game. Like, textures are bad, rooms are empty, frame rate is terrible. Like, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, this can't be the trailer you gave to Nintendo. Like, and the Assassin's Creed 3 trailer, the frame rate is so bad. Just even in the trailer, like, you couldn't even just lie and put the PS4 version in there. It's just sort of like, here's 20 frames, enjoy. It's like, oh,
yeah.
No.
So we've got Assassin's Creed Disappointment and Dead by Daylight Rising. No.
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight Island. There you go.
Yeah. Nice. Rune Factory 4, there's a version of that
this
coming
doesn't
on
exist.
Switch.
La.
I feel like this might be, if it's the right price and it runs really well, I feel like this might be the first game I might try in this franchise. But I haven't started Stardew Valley because I know who I am. So, I'm not
there's
sure.
a reason why I la-la-la'd a lot then, is because I don't need to know about another Rune Factory game.
Yeah.
The last Rune Factory game, I had Disgaea syndrome with it, and I put like 4,000 hours into it.
Do everything. They also announced Rune Factory 5 that has started development. It's like, no. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is coming this summer. This finally has a release window.
That one's a bit shocking.
Yeah, I was almost expecting that to come out this fall, but still,
you know what?
Switch
That's
exclusive.
Fine. Short lead time. I'm happy with them.
Yeah, announce it 8 months before it comes out. That's fine by me.
Or do an Apex and announce it 2 days before it comes out. It's great.
Right, get it leaked. Dragon Quest XI is coming out on Switch this fall. Boy, they added a bunch of stuff to that game. Orchestral soundtrack, thankfully. Reminder, composer is a pile of human garbage. They added a bunch of additional side stories and additional content, and you can play the entire game in 16-bit now.
Handy.
Not only battles, but also the overworld is in 16-bit top-down and everything. So that's pretty great. Hopefully that stuff comes to other platforms like Square has done for Final Fantasy 15 and World of Final Fantasy and stuff like that. They haven't decided, but I feel like that's we haven't decided, wink, like, buy it on Switch. Oh, it comes out for consoles for $10. Oh, so weird. And last but certainly not least, the thing that I'm most excited about, Nintendo is going back and remaking the best Zelda game, and that is Zelda Link's Awakening for Switch.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for phrasing it exactly that way.
The correct way, yeah. It looks so good. They managed to... I like a lot of people whining about this game that clearly haven't played it, saying like, I can't believe they put it in 2D. I can't believe they didn't put it in 3D. You haven't played Link's Awakening. You cannot put Link's Awakening in 3D. It will not work that way. They managed to make like a claymation Link's Awakening, which is perfect. Like, this is a day one purchase for me. This is my favorite Zelda game of all of them, and to see them, 1, remember Link's Awakening, and then 2, remake it without just putting the Game Boy Color version out, that's the 2019's moment of the year is, hey, Link's Awakening is coming back.
This is Resident Evil 2. This is a remake done correctly, and as such, even if I don't play it, they will have my money so that I can kind of support them and say, yes, this is the type of thing I can get behind.
Yeah.
And yeah, the people who are hating on it makes me laugh, because a lot of these people are the type of people who have the year 2007 in their username on like Twitter, and they have I'm 15 years old. It's like, dude, you weren't even old enough to see the game when it first came out. So you tell me you've played it, and I will be tempted to not believe you.
Or like, and I'm not talking yang to these people, or like their very first game was Oracle, or like what's the 64 one?
Majora's Mask?
No, Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time.
Jesus Christ. That was their first one, and they've only played the ones since then, and they haven't played like Link's Awakening or Link to the Past or Minish Cap, which is a Capcom game.
Oracle of Seasons and Ages.
Yeah, or Seasons and Ages are all really great. Legend of Zelda 2 is really great. I know I'll get some yang about that.
Let me tell you about the best Legend of Zelda 2 remake, The Binding of Isaac.
That's right. But yeah, I really hope that this gets people to play Link's Awakening, because, man, that game is really good. And that ending is really something.
Yeah, and there's chain chomps in it and all kinds of stuff. And the dream guy from Mario 2.
Yep. Yeah, Ward. That's his name. Yep. Yeah. Next news story. THQ had something to say about whether or not Darksiders 3 has performed to expectations. I'm
sorry, THQ? That company doesn't exist anymore.
Well, THQ Nordic does until they just chop the Nordic off. They say that Darksiders 3 has met expectations. Yep. I thought we would report on good news. It has made its investment, its development and marketing investment back. And THQ Nordic is happy with how it performed. And I think that's really neat. Nice for them to come out and say, because it launched very quietly to very poor reviews, had a very sizable patch to sort of give you the option of a classic control and fighting style. And it's nice to see them come out and be like, that game did well for us.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same company whose CEO was like, "Yeah, we don't need to make games for 200 million. Right. You can make them for like 5 to 10, and make high enough quality games that people will still enjoy them."
Yep, like the Hellblade thing. We can make a really high quality game for less, and just make a great game. Speaking of making great games for less, the 3-person studio behind Hollow Knight, they were teasing for the last couple weeks the unveiling of the very final DLC pack for Hollow Knight, the Hornet DLC. They announced it this week, and it's actually a completely full-size sequel called Hollow Knight Silksong.
Yep, so I read this news story and then immediately jumped on Twitter because I couldn't help but love to see you bugging out over this game.
Yeah, I was already excited to play a Hornet DLC because I think she's a cool character and I thought that would be fun. And for them to just say, hey, we're coming out with an entirely new game and Kickstarter backers get it for free because we made that promise, that's really great.
Number one, good on them for the Kickstarter thing. And number two, that's fine. The DLC got too big. Make another game. That's fine.
Them saying like, hey, we make another full-size Hollow Knight is me sort of saying like, oh no, my favorite meal, I get it again. You know, like that's really great. So watching the trailer is really great. They got the movement right with Hornet. It looks like it's a lot more mobile than the main character of the original Hollow Knight, and I think that's really great.
Hornet's the one who flies around like crazy, like it has like following her.
Yeah. It has the little, like,
needle?
Sewing needle. Yeah. So you get to play as her. And it's coming out day and date for PC and Switch. And they said, we're going to put it on other platforms. There's 3 of us. Sort of like, okay, sure.
Speaking of good communication.
Right. Speaking of honest expectations. All right, let's move on to questions. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, Crackdown 3 is getting overall mediocre reviews. I think all of these questions are about Crackdown 3 this week, so just heads up. A lot of gamers are really enjoying it. Like myself, seeing it has faults, but overall just being the fun game we wanted. It seems a few times each year we get a game that's either loved or praised by gamers, but reviews poorly. You also see it has the other way around. With the games being on Game Pass, even with the poor reviews, do you think Xbox will consider it a success?
Yes.
I think the Xbox team will probably see it as a success if it drives Game Pass memberships. Because it'll sell, and they already have predictions and all that for that, and they'll know how many $60 copies they sell of that. But if you can initiate and retain memberships to Game Pass, that's where the real, not all just the money, but I think that's where the real engagement is. Because like most people, You can download it for Sea of Thieves or Forza Horizon 4 or now Crackdown 3, and then you see that little in your backlog. It says like Game Pass 100 plus, and it's just sort of like, well, maybe I'll look through some of these, and then you sort of scoop up 4 or 5 games that you really like, and it's like,
oh, Gardens Between is surprisingly great.
Gardens Between is really great. I gotta go finish that. But yeah, I think it'll be a success if they have people stick around, because you always hear the biggest cost of any service like this is getting people to sign up the first time. That's the most expensive step. And
to be honest, humans are humans, and whether it's Netflix or iTunes or whatever subscription service you're a part of, these subscription boxes, they have the exact same thing. They rely on the fact that you are a human, and you are going to forget that you accidentally spend $60 every 2 months on this service.
Right.
Whereas
it's
Game
only
Pass
$10.
is $10.
That's so tiny.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think they'll view it as a success regardless, because, number one, it's out the door. It didn't get cancelled.
Thank God we're done.
It didn't get cancelled. It didn't get booted off the high shelf.
Doesn't have to show up at E3 again, where it's like, it's coming this year.
Yep, exactly. So then if they decide they want to go and do a number 4, then they've got a clean slate. They don't have to worry about it, and it's more recently in the memory. I kind of disappointed. The True Achievements pointed this out, and that another site that give it a really bad review. The first line in their review, Gersman's first line was pretty great. Why don't you just go play Crackdown 1 again?
Right. Backwards compatible. And free.
Yeah. But the True Achievements one was, it's kind of funny that Microsoft just rebranded the Microsoft Studios to the Xbox Studios.
Right.
And when you kick up Crackdown 3, it shows the Microsoft Studios logo.
Whoops.
Which should tell you everything you need to know right now about how long this game has been in development.
Don't even touch the code base of this game. It's going to break at any moment.
Yeah.
Pretty good. He also says, I know a while back you guys mentioned gaming resolutions for this year. My personal one was stop playing a game if I'm not having fun. How are you doing on your gaming resolutions? If you're not hitting your goals, how are you going to alter them, or do you think you will hit them by the end of the year? I don't remember my goal.
Mine is basically to monitor my spending and play more of what I buy, which so far this year I'm pretty sure I've only spent full price on 2 games, or 1 game, because I picked up Kingdom Hearts. My wife picked up Resident Evil, but I'm calling that as a both of us kind of thing.
Yeah. Resident
Evil kind of stole my life for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so I'm not doing too bad on that. And anything else I'm spending wise, it's mostly Game Pass stuff and backlog, because I need to clear out some of that backlog.
Me too. I just popped in Yakuza 6 in my PS4, where it's like, all right, I've got to finish this thing and like get it on my backlog. But yeah, I didn't realize until I downloaded Crackdown. Number one, Microsoft is doing a really great job with the Xbox Game Pass app. It pops up and says, now available, Crackdown 3 and this and that and the other thing, and I can just click Crackdown 3, and it just installs on my Xbox. And then when I go back to see it, the next day or a couple hours later, it's already downloaded. That's really great. Everyone should do it. Please and thank you. My spending this year has been down so much because of Game Pass.
Yep. I saved, I think I mentioned it in January, I saved $120 last year.
Yep.
I didn't buy Forza, and I didn't buy Sea of Thieves.
Yep. I mean, just at the very least, that paid for Game Pass for the year. And then all the other stuff like Gardens Between and Bomber Crew and all these other great games that are Super Mega Baseball is on there. Or the second one. I don't remember.
Second one.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff on there, and it's so stupid cheap. I feel like my gaming resolution for this year is probably the same as it's been previous years, where I want to play stuff in genres I don't typically play. But I haven't really seen a game that's outside of my wheelhouse yet that's praised enough where it's like, all right, that's the one in X genre that I should go check out. Like Steins Gate for visual novels. Everyone's like, all right, if you want to play a visual novel, here's the one you want to play. And it's like, okay, cool. That was a really great experience and opens more games in that genre.
When is FIFA Street going to come out so I can finally get Boston into soccer games?
Yeah. I'm not opposed to soccer games. I just feel like
Yeah,
one that would.
If we play the street game, that's the arcadey introduction, and
but
then I can graduate you to the full 11 on 11 experience.
You know what's crazy about me is I would almost rather play Football Manager rather than FIFA.
There's a game that I can get behind. So let's talk about some thousands of hours.
Or like Simulation Soccer, which, what was that, a ZX Spectrum game? Simulation Soccer 2?
Yeah, that was way back then.
35 years old. Like, I would almost play, because I like, Kairosoft made one for mobile devices. Oh, I don't remember what the game was. But it's basically, you know, you train up your team and you set your strategy and you get all your sponsorships and stuff, and then when they go play the game, they just play it by themselves depending on how you've raised them up. That's my jam. That's the stuff.
I love the fact that Football Manager has forever been one of those dark horse top seller games.
Yep.
But nobody in America pays attention to it.
No. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like they'll come out with another one, it'll sell like 2 or 3 million copies over the course of a year, and it'll do well enough. Yeah, maybe I'll stream me figuring out Football Manager. That'll be my late night. Like, all right, the kid and the wife are in bed. Let's spend an hour or two studying Football Manager.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, I'll need the O'Reilly book for Football Manager. Maximus Prime sends a whole bunch of questions in here, so we're going to just take them here from the top. Thank you very much. I'm not making fun of Maximus Prime. Thank you for sending questions. Since I have a sneaking suspicion that Crackdown 3 is going to be talked about a lot this episode.
Nope. Not at all.
Didn't mention. There's already one question this week that I felt I needed to ask, being that Crackdown 3 is currently sitting at a 60 on Metacritic, as website or 4 websites, and the red with a sad 3.7 by gamers. Why do you think this is? Possibly because of a troubled and overly drawn out dev cycle? Probably. The negativity that still exists by too many gamers towards the quote-unquote old Microsoft. Could it be that, in my opinion, the very dated gameplay loop, story, gameplay, and overall look and feel of a 2013 open world game, or something completely different? I don't know why I find this game so interesting to dissect. Because of that, I really look forward to hearing your thoughts. Keep on keeping it real, gents.
Well, I present to you on the Crackdown 3 thing, which is critics are not always right. And the best example I have of that is the time that my cat started chasing something around on the floor. But also the time that Jim Sterling, famous controversial figure that he is, gave Deadly Premonition a 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. When everybody else gave it 2s and 3s.
That's a 10 out of 10 game, though.
Where's Deadly Premonition these days?
Yeah.
It's rated as one of the best cult classic video games of the past 20 years.
God, that game is so good and so horribly broken.
It's broken. The controls are bad. There's so much wrong with that game.
It's so good.
From a critical perspective, it is a broken thing. And Sterling kind of broke the mold with that. And he said, yes, this game is broken. This game is a 10.
It is a must-play video game.
And
it
for
launched
me,
Swery's career.
Yeah. For me, stuff like Crackdown is the same. Yes, this is a broken game. For me, this is an 8 or a 9 easy.
Yeah. And I think when you look at it from the outside, I think you look at how far Far Cry has come. Probably not far enough. The major leaps that Assassin's Creed has made over the last 2 titles, how great Saints Row 4 was, how great The Witcher 3 was. I think you look at any number of open world games, and you shouldn't compare them because, like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey and The Witcher 3 are not the same game, but they're technically both open world games.
Yep.
You know, like, Watch Dogs 2 and The Witcher 3 are both technically open world games, but, like, so are Sleeping Dogs and Crackdown 3. Like, they're all technically in the same genre, but they're all meeting different goals. And Crackdown is a power fantasy.
Yeah.
You're literally leaping over buildings and punching dudes until they fly hundreds of feet away. Like, it's such a different game that I agree. I think Saints Row 4 did so many things really well. I don't know if it did a lot of things better. It's a very similar game to Crackdown, especially with the agility orbs. But
the biggest difference that Saints Row 4 had was it had not the best story they've ever done, but it had an incredible story and campaign.
Yeah.
And that's Crackdown's biggest failing is its lack of like significant story. But you know what? I don't come to Crackdown for that. After Saints Row 3, I came to Saints Row for the story.
I think Crackdown 3 has too much story. I love the look, the design of the cutscenes and everything. I think all that stuff is really great. The voice acting, we forgot to say they got the same narrator back. That guy's still really great. Echo's voice actor is good. I just want to blow stuff up and like throw cars and destroy stuff. In Crackdown, I don't care why.
Yeah.
And one of the few games where it's like, I don't really care. You put a person in front of me, I'm going to blow them up. You put an AI in front of me, figure out how to blow them up.
Spoiler alert, in Crackdown 1, you were the bad guy. Right.
Yeah. And in this one, who knows? Is anyone really a good guy? That's what Crackdown 3 is really asking. So Maximus Prime follows up with another question the next day. Says, so have you ever played a game for about an hour and totally turned off, you quit, and said it was horrible, only to play it for another 15 minutes the next day and find your previous negative perception was completely presumptuous and absolutely incorrect? If so, what was that shift and what game? Oh, and yes, that had just happened to me with Crackdown 3.
Funnily enough, that was Crackdown 3 for me.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the co-op issues. As soon as I wasn't turned off by it, but as soon as I put it in single player, I was like, "Yep, okay, I'm fine with this."
Yeah. That happens to me with a lot of games. If I'm playing them, like at the end of the day when I'm tired, I don't want to go through an intro. I don't want to go through the tutorial of like move the left stick to figure out how to walk. Cool.
Look at these lights. Is that comfortable, or would you prefer to invert the controls?
Right. Like I don't want to go through all that, and I don't want to go through learning all the controls and stuff. I'd rather play Apex Legends or Destiny 2 or Binding of Isaac, like something I already know how to play and I can sort of chill to. None of those games are that chill, but but I would rather play the comfort food games rather than start a new game. So that happens to me a lot where it's like, all right, I'm going to get in this game, and like 10 minutes in I'm like, I might be way too tired to play this. Maybe that's why I hate it.
Oh, I'm trying to think for me. I mean, it doesn't really happen to me because I'll be honest, I'm stubborn and way too patient. Right. My wife will happily tell you I'm very, very patient. My manager and colleagues at work will happily tell you how patient I am, considering all the stuff I put up with there.
Right.
So I don't really have that kind of thing, that snap judgment and then turn around. It's like I will play a bad game to death because I started it and it will be finished, which is me needing to evolve my opinion of what I need to get from games. Right. Speaking of resolutions, because games aren't a case of get as much money as you can anymore. I don't need 255 games installed, but I have them because I started them, and I'll be darned if I'm not going to finish every single one of them.
Don't look at me.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm in the same boat. I really try and give every game a shot, especially if I've spent $60 on them. I really want to try to, and I think Crackdown 3 is a really great example. And I talked about this on Twitter when the reviews were coming out a couple days ago, and they were really bad. And reviews were really bad and continue to be really bad for Alpha Protocol, a game that I love. It's like one of my top 10 games of all time. And I really like playing and really genuinely trying a lot of B games because sure, stuff might be broken or some feature of the game might not work or is just, you can completely ignore it. Kingdom Hearts 3's shot locks.
Vampire Combat.
Yeah. But that is usually, if you can give a game like that a shot, there's usually something in there that's really, really good, like Alpha Protocol's story. Sure, the shooting isn't great until longer in the game than it should be. A lot like Crackdown 3, it's like, boy, this game feels really slow and clunky. Oh, I leveled up my agility. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, that's right. Each one of these games starts out kind of bad.
Yeah.
But sticking with B games, I feel like more often than not turn out to be a really great experience. And I feel like people misunderstand B games aren't...
It's not an insult.
Well, and also, B games aren't broken games. There are games that come out that are just bad, and they don't work, and they're just trash. That's not a B game I'm talking about. Those are, like, asset flips. Those are just broken games to begin with. But, you know, like the Alpha Protocols, the Vampires, the Crackdown series overall, those are the ones you want to stick with because there's something... There's like a nugget in there that's really worth something.
To rip from the headlines here, you might even say there are some diamonds in the rough when it comes to B games.
Right. But yeah, that's why I fight so much for these B games on the show, because, you know, we talked about Deadly Premonition. That's past a B game. That's like almost a completely broken game, but there's a lot of it that manages to sort of pull it out of the abyss. But so many of these games are so great, and if you just spend a little bit of time, it's not going to be... Crackdown 3 isn't going to have a... I'm trying to think of a first-person shooter that has a campaign anymore. Call of Duty.
Call of Duty doesn't have a campaign this year, but...
Battlefield. That
doesn't even have a campaign that has war stories? Come on, dude. Prey.
Yeah, Prey. Well, I don't know that one. That Prey is really good. I'm trying to think of like... a multiplayer-focused first-person shooter that has...
Halo. Just go Halo.
Sure. Let's go with Halo. It's not going to have, like, the production of a Halo game. You know, like, Crackdown 3 didn't come out, and it's not the best-looking game on your console. It has great HDR, and the neon lights look really great, and some of the textures... the style. Yeah, the style's really great. The cell shading looks good. Some of the textures aren't really that great. You know, it looks fine, but the power fantasy is there, and it's really great. You know, Alpha Protocol didn't look great when it came out, but it had so much of this other stuff. You're not going to get Horizon Zero Dawn level production stuff in Crackdown 3. That's just not how it works. But there's something there. There's something to be said about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, sometimes the games speak to you or they don't. Like, I'm sure there's games that I've played and bounced off and not wanted to play. Like, games I've jumped in and thought, nope, this isn't for me. Even if it's not for me right now. Sunless Seas is a good example. I've bounced off that. I'm sure I will go back to that and I will enjoy that game when I play it. So that will be a perfect example of this question for me, is I will go back and I will play it. But it's not going to be the day after. It's going to be 6 months after, when I want a slow game, when I want that kind of game. And to be honest, some games just click. Like I said, Spency is a Crackdown boy. I hold my hand over my heart and raise my right hand and say, I, Moonpier of House Carver Smith, I am a Crackdown boy.
Of sane
and I am not
mind.
afraid to admit it.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like T-Bomb Rocks wrote in, there's definitely nothing wrong with playing a game and giving it an honest shot. And if it doesn't click with you, just stop. And if you come back to it, great. If you don't come back to it, that's fine. I mean, it might even grab you a couple years from now and you're playing and be like, man, why didn't I... Like, for me with the Yakuza series, I'm now playing and be like, God, these are great. Why didn't I start with that on PS2? I own all of those games. And I don't know. Yeah. But I'm also writing Crackdown 3 in my games I played in 2019 list before I forget. But thank you very much, everyone, for writing in. That's our episode for this week. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including our link to Discord. Come join us there. We've got a whole bunch of cool stuff to talk about. You want to find someone to play Apex Legends? We've got a Looking for Group channel. That's people always want to play it, including this guy with the thumbs and that guy with the thumbs. New Game Club game is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, another short and probably depressing game right after the previous short and depressing game. So probably another short month, but that's okay. Some months will have longer ones, some months will have some shorter ones. So we've got 4 weeks to finish that. By all accounts, 2-hour game. So no no sense rushing. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers, like we talked about at the top of the show. Helps fund this show. We have a problem creating podcasts, so you help fund that problem, including us now ranking our We Roguelike It titles. That the first 4 episodes of that should be in your feed now. Because
explosive science in the works, folks.
Yeah, because why not make another sub show of a sub show? Because
a sub show of a sub show where we specifically are going to argue at points.
Right.
And ratchet up the tension.
I feel like we haven't plugged it very much on this episode. If you haven't listened to We Roguelike It, I feel like the show is going really well. We once a month we play Light Game Club. Once a month we play a roguelike. Sometimes maybe less, sometimes maybe more. And we go through and we have largely had a good time. And if we haven't had a good time, we've at least had a good discussion.
Yes.
So there's a whole bunch. If you want more information about what that show is, go listen to episode 0. There's a specific category on the website for it. I think it's really good. And I hope everyone is listening and enjoying it. And that's our episode this week. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Okay. Hit me with those titles.
That was my watch on the table.
Bumping in everything.
Okay. Do not swear, do not swear. All the way in the deep end. No pun out. Winner, champion dinner.
I forgot that one. Yeah, that one's good.
Striker's goal. Oh, wait. We won. Yay! Chunky boy. We need some stupid. Sit down, nerd. Crackdown boy. What year is it? Sorry. What year is it?
What year is it?
Child Freakout pause time.
That's the one I forgot.
No Communicado. Mech head, PhD. And Jimbo in chat. I like playing proud.
Oh. That one's good. PhD. I like playing proud. Okay, I started with Dead Rising, beginner roguelike, Tofu in HD, which is one of my favorite ones. Winner champion dinner. I really like that one. Sell your soul for free.
Oh, that's a good one as well, actually.
That's a good one. Chunky boy, BOI, of course.
Yes.
Sit down.
Crackdown boy is also BOI on my notes for the record.
Sit down nerd, child freakout pause time, which I also really like. Mechhead PhD, and I like playing proud. I like child freakout pause time, sell your soul for free, Tofu in HD, and winner champion dinner.
Yeah, for me, winner champion dinner and child freakout pause time. They both kind of take it for me. What was the other two you said?
Tofu in HD, which I think is fine, but I don't think it's that snappy. And then sell your soul for free, which I think any other week would probably win. But we had a lot of titles this week.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, as much as I like the cadence of winner champion dinner, I think it's got to be child freakout pause timer. Or pause time, I should say. Because it perfectly sums up kind of the show as well. Because it's like, yeah, we are grown-ups who play games. One of us has a kid. Right. So
I'm pausing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. I like it. You made your case, and I agree with it. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 591 for February 18th, 2019. Child Freakout Pause Time.
Food, nap, and TV all at the same time, please.
God, if only. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for watching the live stream. Thank you especially for everyone hanging out in chat and asking questions and chatting with us. We always appreciate it. We love you. We hope you see you next week. Bye.